Бажаю здоров'я, шановні українці.
Dear Ukrainians, I wish you health. On November 5th, I held another meeting of the staff of the Supreme Commander-in-Chief. It was quite long, 3 hours. We analyzed the situation on the front line in great detail, in all directions, on the energy front, the situation on the borders. The Commander-in-Chief, commanders, head of intelligence, Prime Minister, Minister of Defense, head of border guards delivered reports. We know what the enemy is preparing for. We will respond and continue to liberate our land. Everything related to the defense forces supply support was also analyzed. These are equipment, ammunition, communication, winter uniforms. Countermeasures against missile and drone terror were considered separately. There are already quite significant results in this. The percentage of shooting down has become higher, but there is still work to be done. We must ensure full protection of the Ukrainian sky and will continue to do everything possible and impossible for this. In the coming weeks, we expect news regarding air defense and anti-missile defense for Ukraine. By the way, on November 5th, there were messages from Iran, from official representatives. There they decided to admit that they did supply drones for Russian terror, but even in this confession, they lied. We shoot down at least 10 Iranian drones every day, and the Iranian regime claims that it allegedly gave little, and even before the start of the full-scale invasion. Only during the day of November 4th, 11 Shahid drones were destroyed. We know for sure that Iranian instructors taught Russian terrorists how to use drones, and Tehran is generally silent about it. And if Iran continues lying about the obvious, it means that the world will make even more efforts to investigate the terrorist cooperation between the Russian and Iranian regimes and what Russia is paying Iran for such cooperation. There will be no such thing in the modern world that any of terrorists or their accomplices will remain unpunished. The situation on the front line did not undergo significant changes during the day. The greatest brutality of the occupiers, as before, is focused in Donetsk region. But the constant fighting continues in other parts of the front as well. This is more than 1,000 kilometers of the line of combat clashes. I would like to pay particular attention to the National Guardsmen who defend our state in Luhansk region as part of the defense forces. In particular, the soldiers of the 27th Pechersk Brigade of the National Guard, who, together with units of ground forces, very effectively erased enemy equipment and the occupiers. Thank you, guys. We are doing everything so that you and all other soldiers have even more opportunities to chase the enemy, and the next weeks will be very important from this point of view. We are working extremely closely with our partners to get more tanks, more armor, more artillery for Ukraine. I would also like to mention our border guards, those who continue strengthening the borders in Sumy region, Chernihiv region and Kharkiv region, despite constant Russian shelling and provocations. In some border areas of our country, terrorists use mortar fire, and there is a constant threat of rocket attacks almost every day. Thank you guys for your persistence and endurance. This week it was possible to ensure the continuation of the operation of the grain corridor in the Black Sea. According to the results of 7 days, 28 vessels carrying more than 800,000 tons of foodstuffs left the ports of Odessa, Chernomorsk and Pivdenny. The destinations are Egypt, Libya, Morocco, Algeria, Oman, Turkey, China and Ethiopia. Moreover, the ship to Ethiopia with 30,000 tons of wheat on board was chartered by the UN Food Programme. And this is a typical list of countries that consume most of our agricultural exports. It was the example of the grain export initiative by which we showed that the world is capable of guaranteeing stability despite any threats posed by Russia. The world did not succumb to Russian blackmail. Key actors acted decisively, and as a result, the aggravation of the food crisis was avoided. This is one of the most significant international results for the entire autumn. When the world is united, terrorists stand no chance. Another proof of the power of real-world unity is the work of our charity platform, United 24. Today is exactly 6 months after its launch. Nearly $220 million received in donations from millions of people of more than 100 countries. Drones, helicopters, demining machines are being brought for Ukraine. In particular, the very effective armed truck machines, dozens of ambulance vehicles that are already used in the front areas. Star ambassadors joined the project: Andriy Shevchenko, Elena Svitolina, Alexander Usik, Demna, Leah Schreiber, Mark Hamill, Imagine Dragons, Barbara Streisand, Scott Kelly, and Timothy Snyder. I thank every United 24 donor and ambassador, the project team, and everyone who helps us defend ourselves against Russian terror. And by the way, next week we will launch another fundraising direction. We will raise funds for a fleet of marine drones. I think absolutely everyone understands what this is and what it is needed for, and I am sure that millions of people will support this direction in our defense. Everyone has already seen how it works, and this is only for the protection of our marine water area. We claim nothing that does not belong to us. Glory to all who fight and work for Ukraine. Glory to every our hero. Glory to Ukraine.